I'm Kristi O'Connell and welcome to our garage gym. Today, I'm gonna give you a full garage gym tour. We're gonna go over what we have in this gym, how we fit it all, how we stay warm during the freezing cold winters here in Columbus, Ohio, and why I love working out in the garage so much. And also, if you're looking to start a garage gym, what we would choose or tell you to start with, because it takes time to build up with all of the equipment. So let's get to today's video. First things first, the most important piece is getting yourself a gym dog. So I've got gym dog Milo right here, and he has seen all of my workouts, good and bad. I trained for the 2020 CrossFit Games in here, and I swear the dog saw every single workout. They just make it a little bit better. Sometimes he judged my workouts, but for the most part, he was always supportive.
All right, guys, so we're just gonna kind of make our way around. We'll touch on some of the equipment, some of the stuff that we've got in here. This was just a typical garage when we started. It is a 2-car garage. I believe it's 16 feet by 16 feet. So it is not huge, and being conscious of the space, making things like as organized as possible gives you more room for activities basically, which is the goal. This was not a finished garage gym, so that means like insulating the walls. We had to finish some drywall, not only the ceiling, but some of the exterior walls as well. Obviously we painted, we added some lights, but first we'll just kind of start making our way around. This is a reverse hyper. We keep this thing pretty much loaded most of the time. It's not something that you necessarily need to like work up to. Weights pretty much just stay on it. It is great for everything posterior related. It's great if you either just want to get like a glute pump before going out on a run or maybe doing some deadlifts. It's also a great finisher as well. So if you want to do some cash out or something after you've done deadlifts or something posterior related, it's great for that as well. Back behind the reverse hyper, which sometimes turns into a little bit of a shelf, we've got our ruck packs, some hooks with like belts on it that Kristi used one at regionals or different CrossFit competitions. We've got my half marathon bib, Kristi's full marathon bib. We've got some jump ropes, just kind of some stuff that we try to keep organized. The ruck packs are something that we use pretty often. I think that most of these even have doggy bags on them as well, since a lot of times those get used while we're walking Milo. So we try to stay organized. This is some stuff that we don't use terribly often other than the ruck packs. We got some jump ropes and stuff like that over there as well, but a lot of times those are used at our actual gym location more than they are in the garage gym. This window is also something that we added in. We'll show you guys our garage door as well. Having some natural light come in makes a world of a difference just as far as mood, and being able to see some daylight for motivation, especially during the winter, is a huge game changer. So we keep kind of walking around. We've got a dumbbell rack here that we try to keep organized. We've got dumbbells as low as 5 pounds, and our heaviest goes up to 65. We've also got some rogue like barbell dumbbells, which don't get used all that often, but you can kind of adjust to load them. So just like any other barbell, you can put plates on there. They're full collar size, so like normal barbell or Olympic weights are what would fit on those. As we keep walking or making our way around, we've got our glass whiteboard, or actually it's a blackboard, so black glass with white markers. Just something a little bit different that we've got hanging up. We've got, again, our race medals, I guess. I guess everybody gets a medal when you run a marathon or half marathon. We've got a wall ball. Doesn't get used a ton here, honestly. As we keep moving around, this is a newer addition. We've got a functional trainer. This one is from Titan. If you've got ability to, this is a great piece of machinery.
We did choose to put this in a corner, which also made a huge difference because it really hardly takes up any space. When we ordered it, I was really hesitant. I was like, I don't know, but it fits so awesome that I wish we would have done it sooner. It has a pull-up bar, which I love because I love doing strict pull-ups and strict chin-ups, and those are foundations in all of our programs because we know how important strict pulling strength is. But this has different grips. So now we can change our grip to work different muscles, which is gonna be slightly different than the other pull-up bar I'm about to show you guys in a second. As far as all of the attachments, we have lots of fun things here. So we have the rope, so we can do some cable extensions for our triceps. We could even do cable bicep curls. We have this bar, which I actually used the other day for strict pressing. So I hooked it to both ends, sat down and did some strict pressing, which was pretty cool. We have this landmine. We have this landmine attachment, which you guys have probably seen in a ton of our videos, but working your back is super important to keeping your shoulders healthy, especially when you're doing strength training in CrossFit. So this just slides on the barbell, and then you can lean over and you can pull. And it's a really awesome addition. If you don't have one of these, we've showed you different alternatives with bands and ropes in our videos, but this has been super clutch. We have our lat pull downs. We can sit down, do some lat pull downs. We can do some bicep curls, some tricep extensions. So it's kind of like that easy bar, which we really like, which will attach to the cables. This is another fun one. I like to do low cable rows, which is gonna be a seated position. So you'll hook it down here and then you'll pull 2. And again, strengthening our back, which is gonna keep our shoulders really healthy. It's a similar version to that landmine attachment. So we've got all of the fun stuff. It stays nice and organized with all of these hooks. And then everything has its place. So it's all nice and neat, organized, and out of the way. The plates on the wall were a huge addition. These actually all came separate. So we ordered these off of Amazon, and Patrick just measured and hung them so we could get our plates off of the floor to create more floor space and get them on the wall. It also keeps them super organized. So it feels really nice to be able to see like, okay, I've got my 25s, I've got my 10s, I'm not digging through stacks. And really it just saves so much space. But these were super awesome. They're just bolted to studs on the wall.
As we continue moving some other space saving stuff that we've got, we just put a new rack in. This one is a foldable PRX rack that comes up and down. It's got some hydraulics on the side. So each of these just kind of pulls down into place. Our pull-up bar is separate, so this is just our squat rack for squatting, benching, pressing, anything that you're gonna do from a rack. It is super beefy, it is really easy to get in and out, and the best part is that it doesn't take up much space. We've got our plates on either side, which not only gets them up and off the floor to where they don't take up much space, but it's also easy to load the barbell, so you've got weights on either side to get right onto the bar.
I honestly think this is probably my favorite part of the entire home gym, and we've had an adjustable or movable squat stand for the longest time. So getting this, I was like, oh no, am I gonna be able to put it up or down? Yes, it is so easy. I don't even have to do anything, it just comes right down. And then also having a rig post to hook bands to do all sorts of things like that has been super, super key. And I feel like it just makes it feel like more of a gym. And the fact that we can just push it up super easy out of the way, and now we have all of this space has been key. So this is probably my favorite part, but I also love the squat. We have a bench. Benches I do think are important for a garage gym, but I would say you could do most of the things we do on the bench on the floor. You will notice that we have some new space up above our rig, and we have a clock. We are working on getting a big IBEX banner, IBEX flag. So those of you guys that follow IBEX Training and want to hang that in your garage, stay tuned. We're working on them. They're coming soon. The next thing is something that we have had in here forever. We have had these eye hooks, and Patrick actually drilled these through the mat into the cement. These have been in here since 2020 and they're awesome. So we can do a whole bunch of banded work for a super easy setup, especially like if we pull that rig out or whatever, and create a lot of different resistance styles of training. The other nice thing is they are flush to the floor, so it doesn't interfere with anything else that we're doing. And then we have our easy bar, regular Rogue bar, it's just the men's barbell. We have 2 female bars. I actually got these from the online Rogue Invitational. They sent us 2 barbells, which was super cool because one of the workouts had overhead squats and deadlifts. So I got both of those from there. And then we have a men's Olympic weightlifting barbell, which just means the bearings are a little bit different. It spins different. Over here, we have some cool things like this kettlebell is actually 88 pounds. And a really fun story about this, it says Ragnar. And this orange kettlebell was something that was shipped to me from the Dave Castro. So I got picked to do the Ragnar with a group of people. I think it was Rich Froning, Dan Bailey, Pat Vellner, China Cho, Camille, myself, and Alex Parker, and Dave Castro. We did this Ragnar, and it's where you run for 24 hours and you work as a team, so you all have different legs. Dave said I was like the MVP of that, and he shipped me this kettlebell, so our poor UPS or postman had to drag this box up to our front porch. But I love it, and I think about Dave, and I think about the Ragnar and the team every time I use it, so pretty sweet. We also have a 70-pound kettlebell, 53, 35, some 18, some 13, so some lighter weights. This is a newer addition. This is a hip thrust pad. I highly recommend you guys get one of these. They are not expensive, it is padded, it just slides right around the barbell, so you can do your hip thrust with it, and the barbell no longer digs into your hip bone, and it makes a world of a difference for how much weight you can put on the bar because it's no longer painful and you can target your glutes. So we waited forever to get one of these and we finally did. And I'm like, again, why didn't we just get this sooner? So highly encourage you guys to get one of these. We have our scap jack because we are all about injury prevention, rehab, prehab, taking care of our bodies, feeling really healthy. We have our pull-up bar. This pull-up bar is not from Rogue, it's actually from Stud Bar Pull-Up, and Patrick has had this pull-up bar since longer than I've known him. So he's probably had this for 12 or 15 years, And it is super awesome because you can actually kip on it. It has a big distance from the wall. So when I was training for the 2020 games in here, you could do all of my kipping movements and have no problem at all.
As we keep moving around here, we've got some rings that hang from the pull-up bar. They don't get used horribly often, but it's one of those like pretty cheap additions that is nice to just have as you're kind of building out a garage gym. Something we do use a ton of is bands. So we've got every color, most of them doubled up. We do a lot of different stuff with bands, and this is just kind of the hook where we keep them. We've got a couple belts here, which we don't use a whole lot here, but we do have a weight belt. So this does actually get used fairly often, whether you're doing weighted dips or pull-ups. That's just kind of a nice thing to have. As we keep moving around, we've got our machines on this side. We've got a rower, a C2 bike, an assault bike, and a ski erg. As far as all the machines go, it's definitely nice to have them if you have the space for it. But if you don't, we always recommend people that if they're gonna get their first machine, the C2 bike's probably the one that we would recommend, just because it's the thing you're most likely to use the most often. Especially like an assault bike, if you're getting on that thing, you're not really just cruising. You're either gonna get like a really hard workout, or you're probably just not gonna use it. The Concept 2 bike, you can get on there and you can do a really hard workout, or you can just kind of chill and do something recovery-wise for an hour. You could sit and watch TV, and it's a lot more common to get used. Second would probably be the rower, used second most often in our gym at least, and something we kind of hear pretty often from like members as well. Behind our equipment, we've got what kind of doubles is a dip bar and also like a leg raise machine. So it doesn't take up a ton of space. So you can do leg raises from it. Right now it also holds our vests. We've got a few different vests, some from different competitions that Kristi's either won, some of them from first form, but that's just kind of where we hang those for now. Games gear from different competitions hanging up on the gym as well. All around some of the years that I competed either at regionals or Kristi was at semifinals or the games, it's kind of nice to have some little reminders of those times also. In the corner, we've also got a leaf blower, which is really nice to just kind of help keep the gym clean. It's a garage, it does get dirty. So kind of blowing that out every now and then is kind of the easiest way to keep the dust and dog hair and all that stuff just out of here. Or over behind the machines, I've got a thermometer. So working out in the winter in Columbus, Ohio can be freezing. So it did take us a little bit of time, but we figured out a way to keep this place warm. It took multiple attempts at different heaters, but we did get one that we would actually recommend to you guys. You kind of got to go all in for it. It's not that it's necessarily the most expensive, but it does take a 220 electrical line, but it'll get this place up to like 85 or 90 degrees, which especially in the winter, sometimes it's just kind of nice to make this place like a sauna, sweat your ass off out in the garage. And you know, it probably takes 30 to 45 minutes to get it up to like 60, 70 degrees in here. In order to hold that though, we also insulated the garage, or the garage door, which was something that definitely helped. So the walls are insulated, the ceiling is insulated, and then we also insulated the garage door to keep the heat in here a little bit longer. Something else we've got in here is some crash pads. So these, I think, are a little bit harder to get now, to be honest with you, but they're kind of like big industrial couch cushions that you can drop weight on. We don't do a ton of Olympic lifting in here, but when we do, you can drop the weights on top of those and it deadens the sound. So it's just like a soft drop. You can lift a ton of weight. Sometimes we'll use them for other stuff. For Kristi, she's a little bit short. Sometimes she'll use it just to jump up on the pull-up bar.
The last thing that we've had is this mat. So it says my name, which is kind of fun, but this was from my very first CrossFit Games. So these big old mats they used to give you when I competed out in Carson, California. And it's kind of just been like our little doormat for our garage gym ever since we created it. Fun to look back at the journey, the process, all of the memories, remember all the hard work that you've done and all the hard work that you still have to do going forward.
I'm a huge fan of organization. Most garages aren't that big, so that is the biggest suggestion that I would have for you guys. Make it yours, make it comfortable. Think through the things that you're gonna get, make sure it's stuff you're actually going to use, and make it your own. We use ours a lot. We have an actual gym location that we go to all the time, and it's always great working out with other people and being part of a community. But sometimes it's also nice to just come out, be on your own, put some headphones in, and either just get a pump sesh or maybe just ride the bike for a while. Everybody enjoys that as well. We'll put the link to our programs below if you do work out by yourself, are interested in that style of training, or maybe you work out at your house. We've got programs for everybody. If you have questions about any of this stuff, put those in the comments below. I'll go through and answer them, whether it's the heater, any of the equipment, where we got it. We're happy to answer that stuff for you. If you want us to do another video out here, put that in the comments, and we'll see you guys in the next one.